Yes, hi there, everyone. Thank you for having me on the show today. I really appreciate it. So, I'm a mother of 4 children. I'm a former special education teacher in Fairfax County Public Schools, and I'm an advocate in the community. I provide free resources and help to parents and children in the community to understand what their parental rights are, and um, and to understand what exactly is a free and appropriate public education and how to access services if there's a suspicion of a disability or if the child has a disability or perhaps the child just requires interventions. So that is what my mission is to bring that voice to the voiceless. And that's what my active role right now is in the community. And I'm running for school board this upcoming November. Well, under IDEA, which is the federal law, which Virginia has to follow, there are disability categories, and children must meet the eligibility criteria to be found eligible as a student with special education needs or to be found to have a disability. And that process can get started through the school system.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone can start that process to ask for a referral to the school system. And you can also go through private evaluators, doctors, and private psychologists as well. But that's where the stepping stone, the big start is in determining if the child does have a disability. And that is part of special education, part of that specialized instruction that the child would need based on those unique needs. Yes. So it is very different, the evaluation for each child.
Mm-hmm.
It depends really on what is being observed and what type of symptomology or characteristics have been noted. That really drives what the evaluation will look like. And every parent or guardian, before they consent to the evaluation, should be provided an assessment plan, an evaluation plan,
Okay.
whereby the person administering those tests will explain to you what exactly they're going to do with the
Okay.
child, what
Kimber-
type of testing they're going to do. Yes, thank you. So on November 30th, this past fall, the Office of Civil Rights determined that Fairfax County Public Schools did not provide a free and appropriate public education to their students with disabilities. And under that agreement with the Office of Civil Rights, Fairfax County Public Schools is required to hold individualized education program meetings, IEP meetings they're called, for students that have been identified with disabilities, as well as 504 meetings, which is another qualifying area for services, to determine if they owe the children services or if the parents paid for services during the COVID closure time up into June of 2021, that the parents get reimbursed for what they paid out of pocket for tutors or for occupational therapists or physical therapists, so on and so forth, whatever that child needs, that needs to come to the table for discussion. And parents must reach out to Fairfax County Public Schools and ask for a meeting from their case manager or their teacher at the school or the principal. But nonetheless, just you have to contact Fairfax County Public Schools and request a meeting to discuss what those services are and what is eligible right now for your child. Yeah, so it's about 25% of our student population in Virginia have been identified as requiring either an IEP or a 504. And here in Fairfax County, Virginia, the number is near almost 28,000 students. And those are the students that have been identified.
Of course.
And part of that resolution was concerning evaluations that we spoke about earlier. During that time, Fairfax County Public Schools was not providing their evaluations to see if a child needed help and had a disability. So OCR also determined that they needed to go back and look at that time period. And parents also need to be made aware that if some of that symptomology and characteristics are still showing, they need to go back to the table, absolutely ask for a translator to help you access language services too, to help you write that referral and engage in that conversation again, because those conversations were not happening at that time period. Yes, yesterday, like Norma said, was a very long day. It was a 5-hour meeting just to have a school division acknowledge that this child has dyslexia. He has a medical diagnosis of dyslexia. He is a 7th grade student, and he is reading way below grade level. He's writing way below grade level. And it also came to be known that in the general education, the regular classroom with the teacher, that they are using books that are at the 4th grade text level. And this is a 7th grader, but then saying that he is grade level. So that's really important for parents to ask about when they are engaging with the schools about what level is the book that my child is reading, because you also want to learn what, books are good to pick for your child, what type of text ease or difficulty they are in. And so, yes, it was a very long meeting yesterday, but finally they did agree to acknowledge in the documentation that the child has dyslexia. And now we need to move through the next steps and hurdles. And, now that this child is a 7th grader, looking at high school courses, which is foreign language is involved. If you would like to earn an advanced diploma in Virginia, you are required to take foreign language. And for our students with dyslexia and many language-based learning disabilities, foreign languages are difficult for them, but so they need more options. So there's an option to take computer science classes. But what we are finding now, that since this has been put into place, that many of our students that are in this older age range of high school level specifically now don't have the computer science skills to access the computer science classes if they are even available. And that's in our school system in Fairfax with a $3.5 billion budget. They don't have the class, enough of the classes available, or the students don't have the vocabulary and the background to access the computer science curriculum. So there's some catching up that needs to take place there. And that was something that was in the back of my mind for this child yesterday at this meeting that is now a 7th grader. And talking to his parents, he has not accessed that vocabulary and curriculum related to computer science. So how are we going to help catch him up so that he can start maybe accessing that as early as 8th grade, when most students in general education can get foreign language classes? So I've been in the classroom or advocating or been an educator or a tutor for almost 30 years of my life now. Specifically in the classroom since on and off since 1997. Now I'm going to date my age.
Dice que casi 30 años, desde 1997 ha trabajado en las clases, dentro de las clases, afuera, siempre abogando, casi 30 años abogando por las personas con discapacidad. It is I know some people that work as assistants or as teachers in special ed, and it is an exhausting job. Sometimes es un trabajo que te cansa emocionalmente, a veces physically also for some cases. Is there a story, is there a moment that made you passionate about this? ¿Alguna historia, algún momento que hizo apasionarte acerca de esto?
I would say when I was in undergraduate school, I originally started out, I wanted to be an attorney, a lawyer. And I was in a class and we were talking about statistics about how many children are in jail and what their learning is like and what their skills were like. And it came up that the majority of the students, the children there, couldn't read. And I was thinking about going into family type law through that realm. And I just thought I would do a better job keeping kids out of jail, than trying to, get them out once they're in there. Right. And so, that just really hit me. I just remember that time period so distinctly about hearing those statistics and what it was like being in a juvenile detention center or being a foster child that was now a ward of the court and having to live in a residential facility and trying to access and gain that literacy skill that you need. I mean, literacy really is freedom. No one can take that away from you. And so at all levels. And so that really impacted me. And then throughout, my teaching in the classroom, I noticed there's such a a diverse level of teaching skills itself with my colleagues. So many really good people. And you always, no matter what profession you're in, you have to build your skills. But so many with great intentions were coming in to work and didn't have those skills that they needed. And they were so sad and frustrated. And
Yes.
I saw many good people leave the profession because they weren't given the training that they needed. And so that always left a mark on me. And when I was in the school building itself, working with my colleagues, hey, what do you know? There's no judgment on you. And I feel like that piece needs to go away in the bureaucracy, is that we're not here to judge each other. We're all in the same boat. We need to work together and with the parents. So that really hit home to me when I was in the classroom itself. And then out in the community as an advocate too, I tell my parents and colleagues that I work with, whatever I teach you, and I want you to pass it on. And whatever you teach me, I'm going to pass it on. And that's the best way that we can go. So.